Hi beauties, welcome to the channel. My name is Stormy Calder, your favorite, absolute favorite spiritual mentor. In this video, I'm gonna treat this like a part 3 to the last couple of videos that I shot on spiritual tests, on how God, Source, Spirit tests us. And because of the last video, I realized I needed to clear some things up. And actually what's really beautiful about speaking is that the second I say something there's been some resistance around, or that's been like clouding my heart space, it makes so much room for resolution. And then all of a sudden I get all of these new downloads. So I'm gonna give some of them to you. And I feel so blessed that I was courageous enough to publish those videos to show the step-by-step of how Spirit tests, what those tests look like. And I'm gonna explain a little bit why in this video, and talk about my relationship to the Most High and how that has kind of panned out. So, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm in such a vibe. I just feel so blessed to shoot this video because it's not like I was on rocky waters with my relationship with the Most High, but something just like cleared and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, God, I love you. Like, God, Most High, your spirit guardians, angels, ancestors, however you want to perceive it. Yes, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so I wanted to just be open and transparent and talk about my relationship to God's Source, to Spirit. Now, of course I channel, so there are different personality types that I'm working with within God intelligence. But I want to cover the kind of sweeping overall from the perspective of the here and now today, knowing what I know about myself, about what has been pulled out of me, what has been healed, what I have worked through, what I've learned, looking back on all of the really arduous lessons that I've had, both spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, the whole gambit of frequencies from this place, from feeling whole. Looking back, I have a very different perspective. So that's what I want to share. And it doesn't deny my previous perspective either. I just feel blessed to be in this like new space, and I want you guys to see it and from where I was coming from before, because I think a lot of people don't understand Source, don't understand how Spirit works. And I feel like while we are going through karmic testing, it feels like an attack. It just feels like an attack. And depending on your karma, karma's not always like what you have developed. Like, you might have really great karma. But karma is also what other people project on you that they don't take responsibility for. So we're all frequently working through lots of levels of karma. And depending on how much light you hold and light you carry and how spiritual you are, which is the strength of your inner light, the stronger you are, typically the more demons you attract into your energy. It just is what it is. This planet is steeped in polarity, and there are demonic forces, lower level forces, that look to attack the light and consume it and eat it. As if you could remove light from the planet, please. Anyway, so most people don't understand Spirit and how Spirit works. So when Spirit is actually assisting us in the highest level ways, we think Spirit is just brutally crushing us. Crisis moments, dark nights of the soul. Like, I feel like most of us interpret these things as Spirit brutally beating us up in one way or another. It's hard not to, because as humans, we have really deep emotion. And when I channel with God's Source, it's just so different. Like, they don't have that level of emotion. The Most High and many Most Highs, whether it's starseed light councils, whether it's like a high Godhead, whether it's the creators of the rays, the angels, whatever, like, they don't have lots of emotion. Emotion is a human thing. So what they're doing is following a map, and they're helping us. And their help may not be perfect, but it's still at an advantageous position in comparison to what we can do for ourselves. And it's often very painful. It's painful to have the awakenings. It's painful to step in, and we assume a lot of times that God is like punishing us. I have a lot of that in my background because of what I've been through. And I'm not saying that's not true, but it's not true. And this is where I want to jockey on this line a little bit. and just like give you my perspective here and now, because I know a lot of you, some of you that have been working with me that are close to me know what I've been through in the last couple of years. And I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that what happened. What happened. And throughout my life, what happened. And I'm absolutely not denying any of that. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of it, but I accept how difficult those experiences were, and with my relationship with spirit and how challenged I was in them. And I'm just going to tell you about my relationship with the Most High. So but I would never give it up. And I want you guys to understand this, and I'll get into it in a little bit. My relationship with Source has been very, very difficult. No less difficult than my relationship with humans. Okay. The humans are more difficult for me than Source. But here's the thing about karma. Because I walked away from a lot of trauma and abuse with humans through my upbringing, through my personal karma, my lineage karma, the karma still has to work through. You cannot escape it. So I perceived my relationship with spirit to be very challenging and very fruitful simultaneously. Whereas I think some people think it's just going to be easy. You have to work out your karma. And because I was no longer working out the karma directly, human to human, with the lots of people in my life that created a lot of trauma for me, I had to transfer that karma to Source. And I didn't know this, but I know from this position now looking back. So all of that karma, all of those relationship dynamics with myself, others, and the mirroring between those dynamics had to be worked out with Source consciousness. So Source took on the roles of all of the people in my life. Source reflected the hurt and the pain back to me. And Source gave me the antidotes at every step. Although I will say there was a lot of pressure and a lot of crying, and I don't know that many people that are quite as strong as I in ways like this that wouldn't reach to codependent relationships. But I would encourage all of you in this moment to just contemplate, because I was able to do it, and I'm going to speak more about it as I move forward. We don't have to lean on humans. We can truly just lean on spirit and allow spirit to facilitate. And when humans choose abuse, we can choose away from abuse, period, end of story. What I find a lot is that there was this constant jockeying in my personality of like, when do I have to settle? Like, when do I have to just like give in and give into the human experience and like deny my higher ascension, meaning like my ability to care for my own needs. And spirit wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it, because it's very atypical for humans to be able to do this sort of work. So I felt like I was in a really challenging position with spirit, where I felt like, honestly, I felt like I was being punished. Now, I want to tell you guys something more specific in that. Spirit, God Source, my angelic teams, my ancestors were absolutely not punishing me. Absolutely not. Here's the reality of the situation, and sometimes I forget to step back and see the full picture of both sides. There are sides. So what happened is I have a lot of, what would I call this? I have a really big destiny and big dharma, and I'm walking it. Because of that, and because I've done so well in the release of my karmic patterns in this lifetime, like truly completely, there's a lot of interference with other parties, other people, other forces, other entities, other dark magicians, other things, planetary spirits that aren't Gaia, that try to harm me very, very actively. And like, I don't even like, it's so violent in every way. That is actually what's the punishment. And it's not even a punishment. It's to be on earth, honestly. Like we can't, I don't know. I don't know that I can get out of that stuff. When you shine really bright, there's also a simultaneous invitation for contrast. Like it just is what it is. It is what it is to be here, to be human. So actually the punishment, actually all the negativity that I had to sort through with spirit and with my ancestors was actually all these demonic forces. And actually spirit always had my fucking back. Always. always, no matter how painful, and I had my own back, and spirit worked through my own consciousness to work through the pain, where I would grin and bear it and work through what I needed to resolve the trauma as well as I could and develop coping mechanisms and expand my consciousness without reverting back to bad behavior, without reverting back to abusive relationships. And I know this is very challenging for women, for human women. You know, it's like we feel like we have to, but I have to survive, like I'll lean on this person, but I need love, so I'll give up my freedom so that I can receive this. Like, and it's been hard. It's been hard. I can't deny it. But that hardness is not spirit. That hardness is because of all these demonic things going on. Because the truth is, my ancestors always have my back. Always. Always. I had an ancestor wake me up 2 nights ago and was like this big shaman came, and he was like, I'm taking care of you. I was like, whoa, so cool. This stuff happens to me all the time. Like the fairy kingdom comes in. I have different angelics. I have higher angelic teams that will step in and override when they need to. Like, I'm very familiar with all of my spirit guardian teams. And, you know, I do rub up against some of them in a way, but it always gets resolved because there's love there. So even if I disagree with some higher teams because they've never manifested as a human, so I have to describe what the human experience is to get across to them, even if we have disagreements, they always come back with love. We always work it out. And that's not something I had earlier in my life. So I'm working through all of these relational dynamics with spirit, and it makes me feel so whole and healthy, knowing that spirit really does love you. Your spirit guardian teams, your ancestors, honorable ancestors, by the way, not the ones that were doing shady shit in this life. Honorable ancestors, okay? The most high ancestors. They're all truly looking out for us, and it's not a one-way street. It's a two-way dialogue. Like with all of the most high guardians I have to teach them what it is to be human so that they can meet my needs a little bit better, because they don't have the perspective. They can read us, they can read the map at the soul level, but they don't know how that feels as a human because they don't experience emotion the way that we do. So because I've been through everything I've been through, now I have the perspective of, you will continually hear me sharing about this two-way dialogue with spirit where I say, yes, and this is how that's going to make me feel. You know, this would be a little bit safer for me emotionally. Like, can you help me create a safer emotional path for myself while I move forward through whatever experiences I'm creating, while I move forward through the constant spiritual journey? Because the spiritual journey, the spiritual awakening never stops. People think it is like a one and done thing. Like you have one dark night of the soul, and maybe some people do, maybe their life track's a little slower, but like I have like a dark night every year, every year, every 2 years. You know, it's like, it's a constant process when you have a lot to gain, when you have a lot to earn, when you have a lot to claim in your life. And I wanted to look at my notes here. Let's see. Okay, so this is what I wanted to say. Let me save you from the idea that God made my life hard. No. God made my life easy. Spirit gave me an out. Spirit gave me ability to not be even more traumatized. Spirit gave me the ability to be sovereign. Spirit gave me the ability to understand my power and to hold it. And was that painful? Like, yeah, but I mean, that's awakening. Like, what are you gonna do? Spirit didn't make my life hard. Humans did. Humans are what they are, and I grew up in a very difficult situation. So humans were mean. Humans created trauma to keep me from seeing my gifts spiritually, to keep me from glowing, to quite literally snuff out my light in any way that they could. Lots of redirection, lots of manipulation, lots of criticism, so I would never see my gifts. God is good. Source is good. As if they could ever take my gifts away. Could never. It's a God gift. A human can't take away a God gift. And that God gift has enabled me to navigate my relationships without being harmed. Not to say I wasn't emotionally heartbroken in every relationship in the process, but it heals. It heals. It's not the case for everyone, but when you're with God, when you're with spirit, it is the case. The antidote is spirit. The antidote is a spiritual practice that gives back to you and that builds your relationship with source intelligence like a relationship with a partner. It's not just out of convenience, it's a relationship. And yeah, okay, so what did I want to say here? Spirit, God, my ancestors, the Most High, hold me to such high standards. Like, I have to go by the rule book, by spiritual law, not because they are mean, but because I understand what I stand to gain. Spirit can see the best in me and my greatest potential and then pull that out of me. The way that I do for clients, the way that people that really love you and support you will perhaps know how to do. Like, spirit does that with me. And spirit holds me to such a high standard so that I don't get sucked into human trauma. I'm not saying I don't have it, I do. But what happens for us as humans is we get stuck in it. That was the point of all of these star seeds being interjected into the planet in consciousness, was for us to elevate and help humans awaken, because otherwise it's just trauma after trauma after trauma for humanity, for most humans individually, and they get stuck in cycles and patterns of behaving and they can't get out. Spirit allows you to get out, to let it be good, to gain perspective, to have a reframe, to change your thought patterns, to change your habits and how you move through this world. That's spirit. Spirit is the space in between that gives you the inspiration. Spirit is the antidote, even when it's rocky. Oh, and I also wanted to say, because I'm attacked a lot, not just spiritually, but like at every level, like there's been so much opposition to me having this level of gifts and spiritual light. And I think you guys, I'm always going to speak from my experience because I think it's just important to share, to learn from. But there are a lot of you like me out there where you have these gifts and you're trying to access them and you're like, what's going on here? Like, there are attacks. People that have gifts get attacked. Like that's just it. The gifts save you from the attacks too. It's like really I don't know. It's like a perfect, funny little paradox. So because I'm attacked a lot, the stakes are so much higher for me following divine law and rules and elemental and like universal law as well. Because spirit and my ancestors are truly working overtime to keep me safe. To keep me safe, I have to stay within the guardrails and the lines. And because those things that are trying to attach or attack are so vastly like low frequency thought forms, demonic, huge karmic attachments, in order for me to evade that, I have to keep to the law, to spiritual law, to universal law. Embodiment, like moving everything into action quickly, embodying the actions. And I think it's really important because it keeps me safe and it would keep you guys safe as well. The stricter you follow the rule book with spirit, the more safe you are in the material world. Like, it's insane. It's insane. The more I learn, I'm just like, wow, this human experience is all trauma-based for every human, for every soul. Like, to get out and to ascend is quite an accomplishment. If you guys go back in my streams and feeds, when there was a video I did last year, a couple videos on the halls of a mentee, they talk about this and I didn't understand it and now I understand it. Okay, so this is also what Spirit said to me to pass along to you guys. Because I'm attacked so much, the stakes are higher, so I follow the rules a lot more. And they're working overtime to keep me safe, which means my ship is wrecked a lot. But Spirit saves my heart and saves me from ever giving up. The ship is like the ego. It's the idea of something being permanent around you that's safe, that you've built for safety. It could be mental safety. It could be emotional safety. It could be armor. It could actually be safety. They could very well be safe, happy patterns of behaving. And even for those of us that have a lot of behavioral flexibility, like I adapt so quickly, It's like that could all be very safe, but the ship still gets wrecked because because we can't account for other people's behaviors nor control them. But in the process, whatever gets wrecked was meant to be taken away anyway. It's like a storm. Like a storm, yes, provides destruction for what needs to be destroyed so that we can have fertile ground and soil or whatever we're working with to build something new. And every experience I've had with spirit, like my heart is so pure. I have a heart of gold, and based on the experiences I've had, should not be the case whatsoever. Spirit saves my heart. Spirit repairs my heart. The heart is the connection to the soul. Spirit keeps my soul safe in this world, which is just like kind of insane. And through every interaction. I think you guys would be floored to know just how many people try to either destiny swap unconsciously or consciously, try to wear other people's energy, steal their essence, or try to actually manipulate and harm them. It's very human. I don't like it. So all of those are like covert contracts in the dark from the shadow. They're done in the shadow consciousness. So if your shadow's not alert to these, you can get looped into them. Unless you have a beautiful relationship with spirit, because your ancestors will be like, get that covert contract out of here. That's why one of my ancestors woke me up this weekend. They were like, you're not doing this. And I was like, I didn't even know it was a thing. They were like, we know. We're just making it conscious so you don't even engage. I was like, okay. Spirit covers our back so that we never get sucked in to the covert contracts, to the really negative karmic circumstances. Now, what I will say is the more that you understand about your own psychology, your own patterning of behaviors and why you act the way that you do, the easier it is for spirit to take over, and for you to release, like for you to not engage in all the negative contracts. So spirit steps in when we don't have the psychology to like check red flag people at the door. You know, like I can't tell you how many people I've let into my life because I just didn't know. I just didn't know the patterns of abuse. I just didn't know. So spirit doesn't know either necessarily. It depends on that person's soul. And there's a lot of masking at a lot of different levels, which is not spirit's fault. This is what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, actually my relationship with God is great. It's all this mess that I've been in that is just like not so great. But I mean, I'm always grateful for it. You guys will hear me with that. I'm the eternal optimist and realist simultaneously. I'm like, I will always get back up again, and I'll be better every time, and I'll look better with every challenge, and I'll glow and I'll grow and I'll never stop. And honestly, there's nothing that can keep me down. And it's honestly true because I've developed the skills and gifts to navigate. I don't allow anything to really like pin me down for very long. And I would call that spirit. That's my spirit, and that's spirit working through me, you know? So as spirit saves my heart, then I use my mental acuity to reframe situations, to create solutions, to be resourceful, to reorganize, and to move forward, including the healing of my human persona. So that's the stuff that spirit can't fix. Is like, spirit doesn't know how to heal the human. Spirit just knows like, you need more love. Okay, here's a relationship. You need more of this. Okay, here's this. But we have to get specific with ourselves and understanding our own personal psychology, our own personal ways of thinking and believing, and our personality and what feels right internally for us. How our spirit drives our personal behavior through the world. Not to be confused with being impulsive or devilish. People can confuse those things. But the original spark of spirit. How much spirit you have inside of you dictates how many times you can get back up again. If you don't have much spirit, if you have like a weak constitution, like a weak soul, you're gonna have to give in. at some point. And I don't know who I'm speaking to for that, but I don't know that I'm speaking to anyone as much as I'm just like shedding light on, there are weak souls, and don't hate them. That's okay. It's okay for them to move through the way that they do. There are some of us, those of us that are really strong. I have a very strong light. I have a strong vigor to keep it. I have a strong source connection. So because of that, I get challenged a lot more, spiritually, etc. Because I have a strong connection, and that strong connection allows me to continually see and reflect back my own strength. And even my weakness in the strength. Like, if you guys saw the video I posted a couple days ago, I was like, wow, I feel so weak. What's ironic about that is vulnerability is not weak at all. I was just accepting my own states of awareness. And I wish more people would show this more publicly. I know why people don't, because it takes an insane amount of strength to get on camera and be like super vulnerable. Vulnerability is one of my core strengths. I don't mind being authentic because there's very little people could do that would actually like hurt my core. I'm so solid in who I am. That's the human persona aspect, knowing how to heal your human persona. If you have a weak core, a weak self-concept, it's difficult even to hold on to spirit. You have to, that's where we have to work on. Most of the population has to work on like understanding their own human persona, their own ethics, their own virtues, their own values. How do you move and why? What's important to keep? What could change within your personality? What are you available to mold in your personality? Most people take on one personality when they're 4 to 5 years old and they just stick to it. Like, that's it. And they never change. Maybe until they hit a midlife crisis, and then maybe they consider changing in one way or whatever. It's like, you can constantly mold and work with your own personality to reparent yourself and to build yourself into the person that you absolutely adore, the woman or man of your dreams within yourself. Okay, let me think for a moment. Is there anything else I want to share? God is, here's what I'll say. Okay, God is good. Source is good. Source is constantly protecting us, rerouting everything away from us. And yes, that might be a struggle experience. It might be challenging. It might be heart-wrenching and heartbreaking, but Spirit's always taking us on the high. God is good. If it's not good, if it's fear-based, if it's really trauma-induced, that's not God. That is the effect of moving through a human experience. That's the effect of past life trauma. That's the effect of deep subconscious imprints, conditioning that either came from our culture, our society was impressed on us, or we took on at some point energetically, and then it seeds through the experience. But that's not God. That's not pure source intelligence. That's a manipulation. That's a fear matrix built to keep you in trauma states. And even those things serve a point. Even we need that, because that's the point of coming to Earth. Like, what would we learn from if it was all just perfection? I don't know, might be nice. Maybe we'll select that on the next vacation journey when we go back to the soul and to spirit. Okay. Anything else, my loves? Protection is God's favorite friend. When you can protect yourself in absolutely any way, you are already invoking spiritual protection. Protection. Protect your mind, protect your heart, protect your body,